was very upsetting.
That's great, wow, it's good, ooh, it's hot. Yeah.
Cooper is the butcher!
Little special episode. Look, Keith's got tux on, for God's sakes. Because we're talking about Oscar films. We're making Oscar picks. You clicked on this thumbnail because you saw it said, "We are never wrong." And I want you to know that is correct. Keith?
I've been wrong a few times. Other than that, never.
So we're here to make our annual predictions about who's going to win.
Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose it? I got the Oscar fever. Hope you got it too.
Keith and we've done this. This is our 4th year, I believe. It's
Wow,
always a
has it really
competition.
been?
We treat it like a little bit of a draft where we can't choose the same thing, and we alternate on who gets to choose what. I believe Keith has lost twice, and we've tied once.
We did? That's great.
Yeah, so like, hey, not all bad.
Hey.
2024 was a pretty amazing, unusual, strange year in film. We've talked about it. Not a ton of like overwhelming favorites. It's really the most wide open field I can remember in recent history. I think that makes this really exciting. I think that like in years past that we've done this, it's been like, hey, who's picking Oppenheimer? Hey, who's picking the surefire winner?
Who's picking Coda?
Oh man, you're so fucked up. I almost picked Coda because the tide was changing, and then I saw Coda and I was like, "There's no way this movie is awful."
You didn't have the balls.
It's the worst film of the year. Who? Why would I not pick The Power of the Dog? I'm picking Jane Campion, who did win. Like, get the fuck out of here, Coda. You guys make me sick, all of you. On that note, Keith,
Coming in hot.
let's dive in, shall we? What are your thoughts on 2024 year in film?
It's a mess.
Perfect. Fantastic. First, are you going first or second? Let's flip a coin. What'd you call?
Heads.
It is tails. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So I'll
You
go
go
first. First category?
Sure.
Holding up this hat. Oh, hold the hat this
Cheers.
way. Get that branding, UTB Studios. All right. First category is original song. How about that? That's not where I didn't want this one. I would have been happy to get second. Okay.
So you shouldn't have flipped that imaginary coin.
I know, that fucking imaginary coin always gets me. Your nominees are El Mal from Emilia Perez, The Journey from The 6888, Diane Warren, legend, she can't not make a song that gets nominated, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, and Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late. The reason I didn't want to have this category at all, much less first, is like, I don't think this is a great field. I don't think there was a lot of songs that were like transformative or super popular. I think Emilia Perez is awful, as we have discussed, perhaps ad nauseum. And there are 2 nominees here. I think El Mal is the favorite. But also, I think because the backlash against Emilia Perez, which we will, I'm sure, address throughout this episode, since it is the most nominated film of the year, I think that backlash will have an effect down ballot. I don't necessarily think that will be here. I'll pick El Mal from Emilia Perez. That'll be my choice. Keith?
No, it's the Elton John song is the one I will pick.
You're going with Elton John, picking with your heart and really your head, because Elton John is the most talented person on this list.
That's I was hoping you wouldn't take him, so I would take Elton. What's the name of the song? I forget the name of the song.
Never Too Late is the name of the song.
Never Too Late. And how apropos.
Yes. I once saw Elton John in concert with my wife, and it was a wonderful experience. So you might say we're old friends, myself and Sir.
I would not.
Okay, fair. All right.
I will not.
Keith, so that's 1 for me, 0 for Keith. Great, off to a great start here. Great start. Keith?
Yeah, that's how these usually go.
Let's pick Keith's category. Supporting actress. Oh, Keith always gets the goddamn layups. Keith.
What are you talking about?
You always get the easy ones. Let's read the nominees for our dear friend Keith. We have Monica Barbero in A Complete Unknown. We have Ariana Grande in Wicked. We have Felicity Jones in The Brutalist. Isabella Rossellini in Conclave, Zoe Saldana, and Emilia Perez.
It's a tough one. It's Zoe Saldana will win this award.
Yeah. So you think Emilia Perez? Because this is the most interesting. This is the most interesting because Zoe Saldana is the layup. She's won everything. It's been a clean sweep.
She is Robert Downey Jr. of this year.
But people are turning on that film, and
no.
With all respect, I don't know Miss Saldana, so I can't speak to her personality. I'm sure she's a wonderful person. Her speeches have been a little over the top and slightly off-putting. Her joke at God, what ceremony was it where she said,
usually I'm supposed to memorize a speech, and my publicist told me that I couldn't send it for the teleprompter because it was going to be tacky if I assumed that I was going to win.
Was that a joke? Was that not a joke? It was not a joke. And it's like, the whole thing is very, to use the parlance of our times, cringe. So you don't think that will affect this?
No, she's won every award. She will win this award. No questions asked.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say this quietly for fear that my wife, who is not a fan, can hear me through the door. Since I'm forced to not pick Zoe Saldana, I'm going to pick Ariana Grande.
I knew you would because of our recent pod. I learned a lot about Everett.
Here's the thing. It's really a process of elimination. I think all of these performances are, like, good. So, like, I'm not being hateful, but I don't think that any of these are like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, Monica Barbero does a fine job in A Complete Unknown. Felicity Jones does a very good job in The Brutalist. That AI stench will waft downwind to some of this performance stuff. Isabella Rossellini is a legend and is incredible and is very good in Conclave. But she's in that movie for 43 seconds in total. Like, it's a very small...
I was interested. Like, she does a great job, but boy, is she not in this film. I was wondering how... Again, part of my other conversation is like the rhyme and reason of things. Like, is there a standard to how long you need, how many lines you must have, how much screen time you must?
It's about feeling. It's about emotion. All right, get on board.
I'm feeling like I don't understand.
Get on board. So my choice, thus by default, is Ariana Grande, who I think does. I think she does a good job.
She does a good job. She does. I agree. I do
I'm
think she does a very good job.
I'm hearing profanity through the door. It's going bad. My next category, Best Actress. Oh. Why can't I get Supporting Actress? Jesus. What a nightmare this is for me already. All right, your nominees for Best Actress in a Leading Role are Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon in Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison in Anora, Demi Moore in The Substance, Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here. This is where it goes off the rails for your boy. I wish, I'm not just saying
your heart.
No, because this is the thing. I'm not just saying this. I really didn't want this category. I wanted to get second because then I could feel justified. Because Demi Moore... We all
want her to win.
Demi Moore... No. Demi Moore in some ways is the favorite. She is the favorite. But it's not like a slam dunk favorite, right? Because Mikey Madison won the BAFTA. You know what I mean? It's sort of a mixed bag. It's not just that Robert Downey Jr. from last year. It's not Kieran Culkin. It's not Kieran Culkin from this year where it's everything. It's
I hope I get that one too.
Yeah, spoiler alert. We're all hoping we get Supporting Actor.
Suck it, Pedro. Sorry.
So it's kind of a mixed bag, and Anora does have this upward momentum. And the main reason why I'm not just saying like stamp it, Demi Moore, is The Substance is a very out there film. And it is for your average moviegoer who doesn't perhaps love horror films, who perhaps doesn't love body horror, ultra violent, fucking freaky shit stuff. It's a tough watch. And I would be amazed if in the Academy's attempts to diversify and become younger and hipper and cool, they've made that much quote unquote progress in the last 5 or 10 years where the Academy is willing to award a film like this with such a high honor. Inversely, it's not like Mikey Madison's character in Anora is a layup. She's not playing a nun in a period piece from hundreds of years ago. Like, it's also I'm gonna pick Mikey Madison.
So I will go. I'll pick up the crumbs here, and I'll go with Demi Moore. I'm very, very confident she will win this, and I think it has more to do with the narrative than it does the performance. This goes back to our pod conversation. I just think it's her time. She's an established actress who's had her ups and downs, and I think everybody would enjoy celebrating her for this moment. They look for those, like, where can we celebrate them for something that they deserve? You know, like when those two things align, like when they're close, that's the tie goes to the runner here. I wish it was Mikey Madison. I think she did a wonderful job. But I just don't think, I just don't think. So I'm glad you took her, that I didn't have to. But I'd be happy to take her if roles were reversed.
Is that the kind of girl you used to go out on dates with, Keith, growing up in Jersey?
Relax. Whoa.
Girl like her character in that. Does that accent, does that voice really take you back?
Yeah. And her profession.
Tell me about the first time you had sex, Keith. Tell me about when you lost your virginity.
I'm so glad. It was this morning. It was this morning. I finally did it, guys.
Yeah. Fantastic. Very exciting, Keith. All right. I'm going to pick the next category here. All right. International feature. International feature.
I'll take it.
This one might be a little tougher than you think there, Macri. Let's read the old nominees. I'm Still Here from Brazil. The Girl with the Needle from Denmark. Amelia Perez from France, of course. The Seed of the Sacred Fig. That's not a shot at France. It's a shot at the film for not being Mexican. The Seed of the Sacred Fig, Germany. And Flow from Latvia. Keith.
It's to me, it's a two horse race here.
One would think.
I'm not gonna pick Amelia Perez because I don't want to. I just out of principle.
Damn it.
I'm not doing it. So I'm gonna go with I'm Still Here. But if it were to win a film award, it's here and not in Best Picture. So it's got a shot for this one, But I'm gonna go with I'm Still Here.
Well, you're a real son of a bitch, per usual. I really want to pick I'm Still Here. I kind of think maybe that will win. I haven't gotten to see I'm Still Here yet. It's one of the few. I'm still trying. It's still, as far as I know, not available. I've looked up. Maybe it's recently become available. That and Nickel Boys have been very tough for me to track down. But I'm Still Here. I want to pick. I will pick Amelia Perez because...
It's the only other one.
While Flow is tempting because it's also nominated for Best Animated Feature, and I haven't seen Flow either, but it is very well regarded. Folks really like Flow.
I can't help it if I've got a heavy flow and a wide-set vagina.
All right, Amelia Perez. I'm ashamed. So this is now me.
Yes.
Sound. The nominees for Best Sound are A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Ev Duran is going to say Dune Part 2.
Damn.
I think this is one of the places where Dune gets its due. You know, it's not going to get its real due, but I think it'll pick it up here. The technical aspects of Dune Part 2, as with really all aspects of that film, are excellent. So, sound, Dune Part 2.
This is tough for me because I am considering either A Complete Unknown or The Wild Robot. I'm gonna go Complete Unknown.
All right. Oh, interesting. Keith Macri gets Adapted Screenplay. Let's read those sweet nominees. Writing, Adapted Screenplay, A Complete Unknown by James Mangold and Jay Cox. Conclave by Peter Strahan. Amelia Perez by Jacques Ayadard in collaboration with Thomas Bigdane, Lea Missius, and Nicholas Levici. Nickel Boys, screenplay by Ramel Ross and Jocelyn Barnes. And Sing Sing, Screenplay by Clint Bentley, Greg Quidar. Story by Clint Bentley, Greg Quidar, Clarence Macklin, John Divine G. Whitfield. Shout out to those gents. Love that movie. Who you got, Keith?
I want to pick Conclave because I want it to win an award. I think it will win an award. But then I'm also I look at Nickel Boys or even Sing Sing as something that could get a win here. I want to pick Conclave because I want to pick Conclave. But if I want to pick a winner, I kind of think Nickel Boys gets it.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
So I will go with Nickel Boys because I want to pick Conclave, and I'm usually wrong.
Dumbass. I'm picking Conclave. Conclave absolutely going to win. Conclave, winning. No, I respect that, Keith. I respect that. It would be great if Nickel Boys or Sing Sing won. I think Conclave will win. Conclave has won a couple of the lead-ups here. And I do think like it might not be awarded many other places, so this might be the place.
Yeah.
Great.
This is why I'm not good at this, is because I second get like in my mind I was like, yes, pick Conclave, but then I was like, no,
it's Conclave.
You're always wrong. So pick something different, and here we are.
Yeah. My next choice: makeup and hairstyling. Your nominees for makeup and hairstyling are A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, or Wicked. I am going with The Substance. Because while I personally was not crazy about that film, I think it's clearly being very celebrated. I don't think it will necessarily win in other categories. And the effects, the makeup effects, are really something. Cut to clip. It's really, really something. And in all honesty, while I did not like that film as a whole, I really loved the practicality of those makeup effects. Like it is gross. It is reminiscent of The Thing, that classic John Carpenter film. It is quite the quite the situation you're looking at the end of this film. So it's worthy, very worthy. Keith?
Yeah. I would take The Substance as well, but I will go with Wicked here.
Interesting.
As a fan favorite.
All right, Wicked for Keith. I had Nosferatu as my second choice, though I haven't seen Nosferatu yet, so.
I have, so shut up.
What did you think?
It was good.
That seems like a very anti-Keith Macri thing to watch and opinion to have about it, so I'm impressed.
Yeah.
God, that means it's awful, so I shouldn't watch it.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
All right, Keith's next choice is costume. Costume design from my man Keith. Your costume design nominees are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, or Wicked. This one's kind of tough, Keith.
Yeah. I will go with Conclave.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
To make up for the last one.
Yeah.
Where I wanted to pick Conclave.
Love this.
It was either that or Wicked. I think it'll either be that or Wicked.
All right, Keith, Conclave, locked in. I'm picking Wicked. I think same kind of same old shit. It's got some of these have to win somewhere, and I think Wicked is it. I will just point out though, since as we've been going, we're shutting out A Complete Unknown from all of these categories, which I think is interesting.
It's gonna get a win. We'll get to it.
Oh, you think so? Well, I'm very eager. My second place here was also Nosferatu, a film I have not seen, so I didn't have Conclave. I mean, Conclave, how complicated could the costumes be, right? I mean, just go to Italy and put on the suit, right? It's not that crazy. Keith. Next one for me. Fuck. Music, original score. I want no part of this, Dewey.
It turns all your bad feelings into good feelings. It's a nightmare.
Music original score. Your nominees are The Brutalist, Daniel Bloomberg, Conclave, Volker. I did this last time for All Quiet on the Western Front. Volker Bertelmann, Emilia Perez, Clement Ducol, and Camille. It's probably Dussault. It's French. Wicked, John Powell and Stephen Schwartz. The Wild Robot, Chris Bowers. This is tough to me. To me, two-horse race. I'm gonna pick Conclave. I'm gonna go Bertelman, my guy. But I'm not gonna say I feel super confident about it because
I love the score in that film. So like I'm upset you didn't pick the other one.
Well, the other one might win, is the thing.
Yes. Well, who do you think that is? Because I'll take that one.
I want you to pick.
Well, no, this is where I'm going to go to Wicked. I'll take Wicked.
Wicked. Final answer?
Yes.
Yeah. No, the other one is The Brutalist. I think the score of The Brutalist is very respected, and I think really beautiful. I think the opening that opening number particularly. I mean, it's sort of the theme of The Brutalist as they stumble out and see the Statue of Liberty is pretty incredible. Next one for our guy Keith here. Oh, original screenplay. Your nominees for original screenplay are Anora by Sean Baker, The Brutalist by Brady Corbet and Mona Fastvold, A Real Pain by your boy Jesse Eisenberg, September 5 by Moritz Binder, Tim Philbaum, co-written by Alex David, and The Substance by Coralie Farget. Keith?
I will go with Anora.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Why? And can I talk you out of it?
No, because I think it has to win. It's gonna win some stuff, and I think this is a nice consolation prize. I don't believe it will win Best Picture.
Wow.
Although I think it'll be it's in contention.
Yeah.
I don't think it wins Best Picture. I think it wins here.
Okay. Well, an interesting thing about Sean Baker is he is in the running for a pretty incredible thing, which is winning 4 Oscars in the same night. Which would be for writing original screenplay right here, for editing, because he edited Anora, which is super fucking cool, and for director and Best Picture, as he is a producer. So that would put him in very rarefied air. I think only done by Walt Disney before. And while I don't necessarily think that he will achieve it, it'd be pretty incredible if he did. We'd be witnessing history. I want to pick Anora. I kind of think it will win. The Brutalist has a chance here. A Real Pain has a real chance here. I had Anora as my number 1. And I have done this before, and I've regretted it, but I'm going to do it now. I'm going to pick The Substance by Coralie Farget, because that has won, I want to say it won screenplay at the Golden Globes. And I'll add that makes 0 fucking sense to me. Because I don't think that screenplay is very good, and I don't think it's not even that I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good, but like I don't think it's like there's not that much talking. You know what I mean? It's really like not that much dialogue, and I think there are a lot of issues with the story structure. But it's not entirely unlike the film I continue to reference, Promising Young Woman, from several years ago, which I thought was an actively poor screenplay, very on the nose, very just like telegraphing every little thing to you, and everybody was a cliche and everything was a trope. That's kind of how I feel about this screenplay, and that won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. So I'm picking this as my backup to Anora, because while I wholeheartedly would disagree with it, I could see it happening. It's happened before. So it is what it is. I'm picking The Substance. Keith. Well, it's me now.
It's you.
It's me now. Here we go. Oh, Best Picture. We will set that aside for the last category of the evening. Here's the next one for me. Actor in a leading role. All right. Your nominees for actor in a leading role are Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes in Conclave, Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice. So this is, to me, a really great field. Working my way up. I really like The Apprentice. I meant to mention it in our Best of the Year as an honorable mention. I think that was a very good, ballsy film. And I think Sebastian Stan gave a very great and ballsy performance in that movie. and nailed it. Like did a great job. What you may or may not think about the politics of it, or the portrayal of that person, Sebastian Stan really gave a subtle, grounded, sort of like progressing performance, an evolving performance, which was great. I think we all take Coleman Domingo for granted. To me, he popped out of nowhere a few years ago, and he's just nominated for everything, and he's incredible. He's incredible in Sing Sing. That is an incredible Oscar-worthy performance. I don't think he's going to win, and that's crazy. My personal choice is Ralph Fiennes in Conclave. I love that performance. I think it is incredibly subtle and beautiful and nuanced and amazing, but I think like Ralph Fiennes is always so good that like people take him for granted too. He's never won an Oscar. And he's just always great. And he's just being like great Ralph Fiennes. Like he's incredible in this movie. I think he should win. He'd be my choice if I was a voter. I don't think he will. I think it's down to Adrian Brody or Timothy Chalamet. And I'm going to pick Adrian Brody in The Brutalist. Thinking that the AI may not cause Adrian Brody has a good story. It's a great performance, first and foremost. The AI Hungarian speech aside. It is a phenomenal performance. I'm picking him. I think Chalamet could win, obviously. I just don't think it's time yet. I think it's Adrian Brody.
I want to pick Ralph Fiennes. I think he gave the best performance. It's like I just want him to be rewarded for his career. So, I don't know why there's not the same sort of buzz around him as there is like Demi Moore. Just like, hey, this person has done so many great things. It's a great performance. Let's give him the, but I don't think he's going to win. I think Timothy Chalamet will win. I think they are going to put the championship belt on Timothy Chalamet. This is his year. He's the star in 2 Best Picture films. I don't think that is lost on this. He is dating a Kardashian. I don't think that is lost on the voters.
She's a Jenner.
You say not now, but why would they not crown a new king of Hollywood tonight, or that night? It's not tonight, but that night.
Yeah, no, it's very possible. I think Timothy Chalamet does a very good job in A Complete Unknown, and that's coming from someone who like worships Bob Dylan. Like I fucking love Bob Dylan. He is a part of my life from the time I was born. The performance was great, and between that and Dune Part 2, I have criticized him in the past, and I do think that like he's good. He did good. He did good this year. The kid did good, and I'm happy for him. And that narrative might carry him to a victory here. But it's not like Adrian Brody is like some grandpa. Adrian Brody's story is also great. He won Best Actor 20 years ago as this upstart, and is now, taking this circumvented route to get to this place where he gives this really incredible performance. Like, to me, objectively, Adrian Brody's performance is better than Timothy Chalamet's. Like, that may not obviously be what carries it home.
Yeah, I don't think that matters as much.
But we'll see. We'll see. All right, so now it's you, and your category is production design. Your nominations are The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Keith Macri chooses.
I will choose Dune Part 2.
Wow, all right.
Yes. Dune Part 2.
Very good.
It's a spectacle. Like, it is a magnificent spectacle, and a great cinematic achievement. It looks amazing. It feels real. It feels tangible. It's shot beautifully, which I know is not part of this category, but
it helps.
It helps.
Yeah.
Like it enriches the visuals of this film greatly. So I think it's going to win some awards. I choose here.
God willing. All right. Dune Part 2 was my second choice. Not in terms of my own personal preference, but what I thought would win. Second to Wicked. So Wicked will be my choice. Similarly, as we've said, I do think Wicked has to win some. And while I take some issue with production design being so heavily CGI, let me just say, as a slight aside, I thought I went into Wicked more ready to hate that film than any other film, maybe of all time. Like, I assumed I would hate it. It has every ingredient that I would hate. And I really hated it for like the first 20, 25 minutes. I wanted to turn it off. And then you start to get it. And you start to understand. And you kind of allow yourself to be just like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm in. I'm going to do it. And when I kind of turned myself over to it, I started to enjoy it. I enjoyed the experience of watching the film. But by the end of it, I felt really sad because I think Wicked might be, more than perhaps any other film that I've seen in recent memory, like the perfect textbook example of why really CGI in general, as this sort of like large blanket concept, is so damaging. Because like, to me, every other part of Wicked, they nailed it. Like, they understood what it meant to be a like great, large, family-friendly, impactful, like cinematic experience. Like, it really nailed that stuff. I don't like modern musicals. I don't like this kind of shit. But I was moved by all that stuff. I thought all that stuff was great. I can get it. But because the CGI in that film is so perverse, like just in every frame, you know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, it's amplified. Oh, it's in some scenes, but not others. It's like, no. Every part of that film is fucking blue screen. You know what I mean? Like, there are no real sets. Like, because that is so just like like, he was even willing to go a little dark. Like, when those like flying monkeys were crashing into the windows and it was getting really intense. It's like, that should be a scene that like impacts you forever. Like, oh my God, could you? But it's not, because it's just computer monkeys. And it just, and I know people might disagree with me, and I know I'm the broken record, and I keep beating this drum, but this is the example. Like, I really believe Wicked could be an all-time great film, like a film that stands the test of time, if it weren't for such an over-reliance on CGI everything. It takes us away. It removes us by several very important degrees from the reality of the emotion being portrayed. That's my little soapbox moment. So I'm sad about that, because it had all the potential in the world. It had all the potential in the world.
I don't know what anyone is supposed to say, because it's just the world we live in. Like, it's just the world we live in. I don't disagree with you. But like, it's like, don't breathe air. Like, it's just like, well, this is what we breathe.
No, it takes some balls. It takes, it takes some bravery. Imagine if the team behind Labyrinth, like, imagine Jim Henson was still alive and they made Wicked. Like, that would be, oh my God, is this the equivalent to The Wizard of Oz? I'm trying to credit the film in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like, I really think it knew what its job was and did awesome at that part of it. But just because we are in this time, and because the powers that be behind that film did not have the wherewithal to lean a little more. It doesn't have to be all.
But how much more money? I mean, think about the production. I mean, this is not what this episode is about, but this was 15 years in the making. It was delayed upon delayed upon delayed. The director dropped out. They, new stars, this is, the strike impacted it. Everything could have gone wrong. You think they're gonna like, they're not, no one's trying to go into locations anymore. No one's trying to take the time. I don't even know if it's the effort, but there's effort being done.
And that's why they're not going to win Best Picture. That's why it's not going to win Best Picture. If they did even 50% of what I would like, maybe even 30%,
you think it'd be Best Picture?
It'd be a shoe-in.
I don't know if there's enough. I don't know. It's just songs. That was my biggest issue with it. It's only singing. Like, it feels Like how many actual lines of dialogue are in that film? It felt like you only get the story through song. I mean, I'm not a big musical guy too, so maybe I'm just a little biased. Again, I enjoyed the film. I went along with it. It was a fun watch, but I just wanted more film. I just felt like, oh, this is just songs. This is just songs. Where is the movie part of this?
Yeah.
But I think they knew their audience. They knew, like, the audience went to go sing songs. Like, the theater audience went to just belt out songs and, like, have a great time together. So that's an awesome experience for them. I just wanted a little more movie to it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm glad we had this conversation in the category of production design. that's we didn't went off. It had to be said. It had to be said.
That'd be dope.
All right. Production design, you picked first, so this is me. Come on, supporting actor. Come on, supporting actor. It is supporting actor. Kieran Culkin.
I think you're cheating.
I held it up. I held it up. I would never.
What's the point? What's the point? Who else is even in the category?
I take no joy in winning if I cheat. Truly, truly. I need to feel I deserve it. Your nominees for Best Actor in a Supporting Role are Yura Borisov for Anora, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice.
Just for the hell of it, I'll take Jeremy Strong.
Incorrect. I wish Jeremy Strong.
It doesn't matter.
I think Jeremy Strong does great. I feel really bad, as I've mentioned. He keeps losing to Kieran Culkin for all these awards. My second choice was Edward Norton. If you're going to take a flyer, why not? Edward Norton. He's a great.
None of these matter. None of these matter. So it doesn't matter.
That would be the biggest upset
in the history.
Yeah, that'd be huge. It'd be huge. It's Kieran Culkin. Okay, Keith. Maybe you'll get a great one here.
Probably not.
Visual effects. That's not bad. Visual effects for my guy Keith. Your nominees for visual effects are Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. Keith, who you got?
I'm going to go with Dune Part 2, just because why not? I think because I think it's a great movie. I think it's a great movie. I think it's going to get rewarded. So this is an opportunity for it to get rewarded.
I hate that for us, Keith, because that most I wrote 1 and then 2. I don't have a 2 here. It's going to be Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 is going to win. And it should. It should. There's not even a good consolation prize here. Wicked is not going to win because the CGI is so inconsistent. I haven't seen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Better Man, that monkey looks terrible. Alien Romulus had pretty good effects, except for, famously, one majorly terrible thing, which that can't win. I'm going to pick Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, because who cares? Dune Part 2 will win. Mark it. This is Kieran Culkin levels of certainty. So,
wow. Love that.
All right.
Love that for me.
I hate that for you. All right, next up.
Film editing?
Good call. Look at Nostradamus. Just drew editing out of the hat. Your nominees for film editing are Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked. To me, it's sort of a 2-horse race. I'm going to pick with my head and not my heart, and I'm going to pick Conclave.
See, I wanted to take Conclave. You bastard.
I think it's well edited.
I'll take. Yeah. I think it's. I'm not gonna spoil, but I think it's great. I think the movie's great.
Yeah.
I think the movie is great. I wanted to take it. I will take Anora because I think Sean Baker does it. He gets the 4 Oscars.
Oh, you're back, baby. We're back.
No, I'll take Anora. I mean, Anora is also a great film. It will be rewarded. And I have picked him for both. I've picked it twice now. So,
yeah, I think Anora could do it too. That was my number 2. That was my number 2. I think Conclave will win just because it's like it so expertly holds the tension, and it really does a good job. Really does a good job.
It does. I'm mad I didn't get a chance to take it.
All right, here we go. Keith, your next category. Best documentary. Our Old Friend, documentary film. Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, or sugar cane? Keith? Which was your favorite and why?
I am not familiar with these films. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
Thank you. I watched the We Beat the Dream Team documentary recently. I'm a sports guy. I'm a sports documentary guy.
I don't see that here.
I don't know. And it shouldn't be. I'll tell you that right now. It shouldn't be in here. So I'm going to take a wild guess, and I'm going to say Porcelain War.
Great guess,
It's got
Keith.
war in the title.
I'm going to pick sugarcane, although No Other Land is my backup. My next step, I think there's only 2 left in here. I can only feel one paper. All right, here we go. This paper.
Cinematography.
Best Director. That's what we got here. Best Director. Your nominees for directing are Sean Baker for Anora, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez, and Coralie Farge for The Substance. This is also a 2-horse race to me, Keith. And I've been prone, historically, as most of us probably know, Best Picture and Best Director go hand in hand. Almost always has that been the case. More recent history, that has ceased to be as predictable. That is not always the case with this sort of expansion of the Academy. I love picking against that trend, and I will continue that today. I'm going to pick Brady Corbet. I'm going to pick Brady Corbet for The Brutalist. I don't think The Brutalist...
You're killing me.
I don't think The Brutalist wins that much, strangely, unpopularly. But I think he will be rewarded here. If for no other reason, then that film is a profound achievement. And on a $10 million budget, to make a film of such vast scope and beauty, faults included, it's incredible. It is an incredible accomplishment. And I think he should be awarded for it. And I kind of think he will. So I'm picking him.
Well, I believe he will win. So that was my number 1 choice. But hey, I'm going all in on Anora, and I'm going
the biggest
all in
Anora
on,
fan.
I really did like the film. I almost want to do just a quick pod on that film, or a quick episode on that film. If we can do 10 minutes, maybe.
I thought you'd like it. I was hoping you'd like it.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to chat about it, but yeah, this is Anora's is my darling. I know you're not a big fan.
Yeah.
So
I could take it or leave it. Give me the brief. Give me the council pop summary. What'd you think? I still haven't heard. This is live on the air. I don't know what you think about it.
Oh, I thought it was great. It is great. There were 2 things that stuck out to me. One is just I don't even know if it's a good or bad thing. It just really stuck out to me. One, I feel like they shot 95% of that movie with like an 18 millimeter lens. Everything is super wide, like so much so that there's like banding. Like you could just see like rooms bending. It is wide and tight for most of that movie. And I just thought it was just such an interesting choice. I don't know. I'm not out here to say like, oh, it was a great choice. I'm just observing like every shot. I was like, oh my God, it's so wide. This is like they rented 2 lenses for this.
Yeah.
It's like a small budget
Love
film,
that.
like clear.
Love that.
I just like what I noticed, and I was like, interesting, and it was so effective. Like I'm not trying to criticize it.
Yeah.
The other thing is I want more films to exist like this because of the style of comedy. The style of comedy, I laughed out loud so many times. This is like borderline, like an out and out comedy. Like it has some real dramatic moments and they play so well together. That was my favorite part. This is a style of movie I could really wrap my arms on. Like this is where art meets my taste.
Yes.
Like I really, really enjoy heartfelt comedy. And a note to everyone who's trying to make comedy films, these guys are the comedy comes from their sincerity. Like there is not one punchline in this movie.
Yeah.
It was played like pitch perfect with the balance of what they needed to do to get the laughs, but get the sincerity out of it as well.
Yeah.
I would love to talk more about it, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it short.
No,
so.
that's great. Love it, Keith. Great job. Love it. Cinematography.
I knew it. Cinematography.
All right, Keith. Your nominees are The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, Nosferatu.
I'm gonna go with my heart on this one, and I'm gonna select Dune Part 2. I think it's beautiful. I love the movie. And I think the cinematography may be the best part of that movie. So I will go Dune Part 2.
Fair. Dune Part 2 is my second choice, only because Greg Fraser won for Dune Part 1. And I could see them not, he got it already. So I will pick The Brutalist, Lowell Crawley. Also great cinematography. I think it won cinematography at the BAFTAs. It's also good.
And that's why I said I will pick with my heart.
Yeah.
I think The Brutalist will win, but I would want Dune Part 2 to win.
As you mentioned in an earlier episode, and I agree, Conclave should be represented here, and I might pick Conclave. Like, it's crazy.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
100% I would pick, I feel the same way. I want it to be Conclave, and I'm sad that's not there.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me of something I said before.
Cinematography is amazing in Conclave. All right, that leaves me, which unfortunately leaves you with Best Picture, with animated feature film. All of these films intrigue me, so I'm not trying to be like, I wouldn't watch it. I want to watch all of these, but like, who has the time? I got White Lotus, I got Severance, The Wild Robot. I choose The Wild Robot.
Oh, you bastard. I do think that's going to win. I do. I said, I think it's going to have a big night. I think it's going to have a big night.
This is the one we've chosen it for, so I don't know what you're talking about, big night.
No, I think it's going to win the other one too.
The sound?
The sound, yeah.
You're an idiot.
But I didn't choose it.
You're a moron.
I think it's having a big night. I will go with Flow.
Yeah, that's what you have to choose if you're not getting. Yeah. All right. I'm excited to see Flow. I'm probably more excited to see Flow than any of these nominees, so we'll see. All right, Best Picture.
I can't believe how well A Woman from Progressive is doing.
Yeah, really. God, that is Keith humor right there. we really narrowed it down. We're all Team Flow. All right, Keith, you get the coveted prize of Best Picture. Your nominees are Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked.
We talked about it briefly before, but I will go with The Brutalist. I think The Brutalist is the subject matter is what the Oscars want to reward. I think the performances are outstanding. I think it was the second horse in this 2-horse race up until a couple weeks ago. I think the AI stuff is not enough to knock it off that peg. Now the Emilia Perez I think will not win an award. I think it won't win. I think it will win one award. I take that back. Yeah. It will win one award.
It might win Best Song too.
Maybe. I think it wins one award. And I think the Brutalist. I think Anora, as I can't say enough about the film. I've picked it 3 times. I think it's an amazing film. I would love for it to win. I would. I'd love for Dune Part 2 to win. But I think the Brutalist. It's the Brutalist year.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree. So I'm glad you chose that, but then I wish you would have just chosen one of my top 2 so that it would have helped me narrow it down. I think the AI stuff will affect.
You don't think the Brutalist is in the top 2?
Or
3? Like, what do you?
I think.
What?
I think if I was betting money, maybe, but I don't think it's gonna win. And my sneaky dark horse pick is like it's 2 or 3. You know what I mean? So I'm picking the 2 or 3 to be 2, which is Conclave. I think Anora is the odds-on favorite, and I think Anora will win, and I'm happy to make that my choice. It's my favorite film of the year. It's my favorite film in a long time. Let's hope that matches up. I don't know that that's happened in recent memory, that my favorite film of the year wins Best Picture, so I hope that's the case. I really like The Brutalist. I'm not hating on The Brutalist. I think it's impressive in a million ways, and I think it should largely be celebrated. The AI shit makes me wish they hadn't done it. It doesn't make me hate the film. I just wish they hadn't done it, and it would make me like it more. And I feel like maybe that will have an effect. I also just think that, like, AI stuff aside, momentum, you know, it's a wave. Award season is a wave, and I just don't know that it's cresting for The Brutalist. It is certainly cresting for Anora, and Conclave is sort of, as I think I mentioned in another episode, riding the coattails a little bit. It's sort of like at the same time, getting those ensemble cast wins, getting screenplay wins. So that's why it would be my second choice. But I'll pick Anora, and I hope I'm right. That'll do, Keith. What's your thoughts in closing? What are you most excited for on Sunday night?
The red carpet. Love fashion. I watch it for the fashion.